So this video will be your homework. Yes, that does say homework for the 10th of February. And we're going to do some stuff on problem solving. Alrighty. Problem solving in what we're doing is where we are given a sentence or paragraph describing something in maths, and we have to convert that into an equation and then solve it. As with everything else we've been doing, there are certain steps we can follow to solve these sorts of problems. So in your textbook on page 132, or if you don't have your textbook with you at home, in your homework guide on page 36, and if you don't have that, in the email that I sent, 5 steps to problem solving. So what I would like you to do is to copy these 5 steps into your book. Now if you don't have your book, find something to write on and write down step 1 to 5. So pause the video and write those down for me. Now, I'm erasing this now, which means hopefully you have copied those down. So, we're going to do an example. We're going to do question number 1 in your homework book, in 7C, which is, when 3 times a certain number is added to 5, the result is minus 19. Find the number. So first thing I want you to do is actually pause this video again and have a shot at writing that out using the 3 steps. So away you go. And now that hopefully you've had a shot at that, I will go through it step by step. So first step, decide on the unknown quantity and allocate it a variable such as x. So in this case, our unknown quantity, we'll read the sentence, when 3 times a certain number is added to 5, the result is minus 19. So 3 times a certain number. This certain number will be our x. So let's write that down. X. There we go. Let's read it again. 3 times a certain number is added to 5. Let's focus on this 3 times a certain number. So 3 times a certain number, well, that simply means 3 times that number, or multiplied by 3. So we can write this down here, 3x. There's that part. Now, next part, 3 times a certain number is added to 5. Well, that means we've got 3 times a certain number, and that is added to 5. So that is 5 add 3x. So that is different from 3x add 5. Obviously, when we're adding numbers, it doesn't matter what order we are doing them in. But when these questions further down the track start asking you to subtract things, it will matter what order they're in. So down here I've written 3 times a certain number is added to 5. This one I've written up here is technically different and would be written as when 5 is added to 3 times a certain number. That's how you would find this one up here written. So, like I said, whilst it's not important which order we do these in when we're adding, when we're subtracting, it is important. So next part, the result is minus 19. Well, the result, that means equals. That means what it is equal to, is minus 19. So there's step 2 sorted out, which was translate the problem into an equation. Step 3 is to solve the equation by isolating the variable. This is what we've been doing all along. So our variable is x, and we want to try and work out what that is. So we can start by moving this 5 over to the other side of the equation. And so if we move that 5, all we have left on this side of the equation is the 3x. So I'm going to write that. We've got minus 19. And now we've moved this 5 over. On this left-hand side, it is a plus 5. When I move it over, it will be minus 5. So we're going to draw a new line. We'll work this bit out. Minus 19 minus 5 is minus 24. So now we're up to moving this 3 over to the other side of the equation. So if I move this 3 over, then all we have left is x equals, I've got minus 24. Now here's this bit. This on the left-hand side says 3 times x. I'm multiplying by 3. When I move that 3 over to the other side of the equation, because it changes to the opposite, it will change from a multiply to a divide. So minus 24 divided by 3. So I know some people have been having trouble with fractions when we're using them to represent dividing. So that minus 24 over 3, written as a fraction, is the same thing as minus 24 divided by 3. They're the same thing, okay? But writing it as a fraction will be helpful eventually, I promise. So we can evaluate this. X equals minus 24 over 3, which equals 8. Minus 8, sorry. There's your answer. So that was step 3 to solve the equation. Step 4, check that your solution satisfies the original problem. So the original problem was the equation we wrote out. 3x with 5 added to it equaling minus 19. So it's 3 times a certain number added to 5 equals minus 19. So let's work this out. Does minus 8 satisfy this equation? So we go 5 plus 3 times minus 8 equals minus 19. So that's how we substitute this back in. So we have 5, add 3 times minus 8 is minus 24. So add minus 24. Now, we plus a minus, we get a minus. So 5 minus 24 equals minus 19. Now, is this true? Does 5 minus 24 equal minus 19? Yes, it does. Minus 19 equals minus 19. So, since this is what we got to, that minus 19 equals minus 19, that means we got this correct. Step 5, write your answer in sentence form, describing how the solution relates to the original problem. The way I would do this is I would think something along the lines of when minus 8 is multiplied by 3 and then added to 5, the result is negative 19. There might be better ways to do that, and I'll have to think about that. But at this stage, that's how I would like you to do them. So that'll be the end of the homework, the end of this video. If you did try and solve this written equation, this problem earlier when I said give it a shot, and you didn't get it right, just go back and have another shot and see if you can work out how you went wrong. If you did not give it a shot, then maybe have a look at question 2 in the homework book and have a shot at that one.